Yo, 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 yo. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm gonna let the chat know that I'm live. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna wait. Wait for people in the chat. Wait for people from the Discord that actually wanted to do the session. Let's see if anyone actually joins. Everyone wants to be here for live streams, but nobody likes to backtest, so we'll see how many people actually join. I'm not gonna start until at least 2 or 3 people come in. Yo, Chris, what's up? So this is a little bit different. I don't normally do a backtesting session, but I'm going to do one. So we can go over kind of what trades are good, what trades are bad. I just started with FX Replay again. I haven't used them in years. Actually, not years, but probably months. Haven't really gotten used to their new platform, but from my first session, this was the results. And it was a 70%, but the last trade ended up being, I was supposed to move the stop to break even, but I clicked the wrong number, so it didn't auto break even me. I'm liking it already. Kind of want to learn what backtesting is and how to do it myself. So backtesting is pretty much, I love this website. If you ever get a chance, you actually get a free trial. I'm on a free trial with it right now because I don't really need to backtest anymore. I have enough screen time and data. But pretty much what it is it lets you go back to any point in the markets. I mean, historically, whatever, the last like 10, 15 years, you can go back. But I'm not going to do that far because the volume on NQ that far back is really bad. But any time in the last like 5 to 10 years, I think going back to NQ is really good. But it basically lets you go back in time and test out your strategy. So what we're going to be testing out is the IFEG model. And yeah, so I'm going to wait until at least 2 or 3 people are in here. Right now it's saying that there's 1 person. Oh, now it's saying 3. By the way, guys, let me know who you are in the chat so I know that if you're part of my Discord or not. But I'm not going to start until we have quite a few people in here. So I know Evan's in here. Chris, I think I've seen you before. Not sure. Yeah, I've definitely seen you before, but I want some people in my Discord to join because they're the ones that asked me to do this. And I told them 11 o'clock. And I told them in the live stream today too, so we'll see what happens. So who else is in here? I really want to wait for Kay to get in here because he was the one that asked me to live stream. I mean, to a backtest. So I guess we can wait for 1 more person and we'll start. And I guess it's not that bad too because worst case, the people that wanted to be part of the session, they can watch the replay of this. But it's really nice to be part of it live because we can actually go over setups and I can ask you guys beforehand what you think of them, if they're A+ or not. So we'll wait for 1 more person to get in and then we'll start. By the way, guys, it doesn't really update me. I don't know why. Streamlabs kind of sucks, but it doesn't tell me how many people are in the stream. So if you just joined the stream, type 1 or something in the chat so I know you're in here. So far, I know that 2 people are in here, it looks like. Evan and Chris. Okay, Javier's in here too. All right. So we got 3 people. Let's wait for one more. Doo-doo-doo. How many of you guys have actually backtested before? I know Chris hasn't. I don't know if Evan's ever done it before on FX Replay, but... Oh, you have done it, Evan? That's good. Nice. It's good to practice. Javier, have you ever backtested before? And I'm going to show you guys what I put on my screen. So I normally put 2 charts up. I put the 1-minute chart, and then I'll pan between the 1, 3, and 5. And then on the right side of that, I'll have my 4-hour and daily chart. All right, I'm going to give it another 2 minutes, and if nobody else joins, then we'll get started. And people can just join in between. It sucks to suck for the people that asked me to do this and they're not here, but shows you who's disciplined and who's not, right? Okay, it looks like there's 4 people now. Guys, if you're in the stream and you're part of my Discord or not, just let me know who you are, because I'm waiting for specific people to be here. Wow. I'm trying to turn on the light in here, but it's so bright that you don't even see it. That's a little better. All right, 1 more minute, guys, and then we're going to start. If you snooze, you lose. And by the way, guys, if you're in here, you're going to need to participate because I'm not going to continue with the backtesting until I get some feedback from you guys. So, like, we're going to go through a setup, and I'm going to ask you guys what you think it is on a scale of 1 to 10. How good of a trade is it? What is the probabilities of it working or not? And then we will size based on not only what you guys think, but also my input as well. Okay? Evan says 5 watching now. Yeah, all right, guys, so let's get started. So when you go into FX Replay, again, guys, bear with me because I haven't used the new version of FX Replay. This is the second time I'm using it. But I believe you go to Sessions. I guess we can start a new session. Actually, I guess we can just continue with this so it's easier. Right now, it's trading. I just clicked random dates in the last 5 years. So March 1st through March 19th is the current session. And we ran this up from a 10,000 to 10,300. Afternoon, Charlie. Good to see you, sir. So we're doing our backtesting session, guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue, if you can. Oh, here, go to chart. All right, let's see if this loads here. So you guys can see here on the left side of the screen. Let me try and, I'm going to make my face a little bit smaller so that I'm not blocking anything. Whoops, that was not meant to be. So on the left side here, you can see is my 1, 3, 5 minute chart. And then on the right here, you can see my 4-hour. So, and then what I did is I have like under the go-to tab, I've got the London and the New York session, but I have the London starting at 8:30 a.m. It's not actually the London session, so that if we get a data candle set up, we can take it. And then the New York session will start at 9:30. So what I'm basically going to do, guys, is pan through the 8:30 a.m. and then the 9:30 and see if we can get a setup. So as always, I'm looking at the high time frame here. I already marked, if you go back to earlier in this period of time, let me see if I can find it here. Okay, there's some perfect equal highs that we still have not hit on this chart. So I'm looking for these to potentially get hit. And that is going to be my first target for the session. So we have a lot of LRLR here. We've swept 4-hour liquidity. We do have more liquidity below, but I'm inclined to believe that we'll probably get a setup at some point today or some point this week to get something up to these equal highs. This is a data candle, so we could see if we can get a setup here. Maybe we'll even get a 30-second setup, but let's see. So I'm going to play the market forward. Basically, guys, okay, this is the first setup that I'm looking at. So my bread and butter setup is the data candle setup. At 8:30 when there's news, I look for a high to get swept or a low. If you guys were in the live stream this morning in the Discord, you know that I took a data candle setup on the 30-second short. So we booked some nice profits on that. And yeah, so let's see what we get here. I probably will pull up the 30-second, but let's see. Okay, so immediately we get a sweep of the data high. So what I'm going to do is pan to my 30-second chart. What I will say, guys, is even though we've swept the data high here, there is a lot of low resistance liquidity. So I'm not 100% convinced yet that we're going to get to the low first. But if we do get a great setup, we can take it, target the lows, and then potentially get a run up to the equal highs. So we'll see. But I'm going to pan this forward a little bit. Okay. So immediately I see this 1 minute fair value gap. What do you guys think about this trade? We have swept some buy side, but we did create perfect equal highs here. So do you guys think this is a good trade to the downside if we inverse this? What do we think? Targeting the data lows. So I'm going to label these equal highs. And again, guys, I said I need participation in the chat. So Evan says no, this is not a good setup. Anybody else? Wait, what the hell? Where's my Discord? My guess is yes. Chris Bosher actually thought it wasn't bad. Not A+. I don't think it's A+ at all because we have equal highs above. So what I would probably do in this situation is wait for the candle to close below. I would allow this honestly to go all the way down to the data lows by itself. And then I would look for another setup to target the equal highs. That's just me personally. And then also I'm looking at this 1 minute fair value gap and potentially looking for an inverse. So we'll play the market forward and see what we get here. Okay, so we closed above this. Still don't like this either. It's really small and it's on the 30-second chart. Let me just pan to the 1 minute quick. The 1 minute chart, you guys can see we have a bigger fair value gap. So this I like more than the 30-second. But regardless, what I probably do here, guys, because of the LRLR and the equal highs, I would let this play out to the downside and then I would look for a long setup. But we'll move forward here and see. Okay, so that's a pretty bullish reaction there. Very bullish reaction there. Doesn't look like we're going to get a setup. You can see here this 30-second closed above, closed below, closed above, closed below. I would never be part of this. Ooh. Ooh, that looks really good. Okay, I missed that, but I still think this is probably going to work to the downside. We're not going to take this, guys, because I missed it, but this was a really good setup. And then your stop to break even would be at this low, which is already there, and I would target the data lows here. You know what? Let's just try this. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit more risk. I'm going to do a little bit less risk, sorry, because I still think this is good. So the entry was here, but in reality, I'm going to have to enter here because I was late. But we're going to do it with half size, so 50%. So I'm risking max 1% per trade. So if it's really high confidence, maybe I'll go higher, but and there's no auto break even here. So we're literally just going to do this and see what happens. So again, it's a half size position because I missed the entry, but let's see what happens here. Okay, so what I would do here in this case, if this low gets swept, I'd move my stop to break even for sure. Uh-oh. All right, so that was a fail. In reality, I would have moved my stop to break even if this low got hit, and it never did. There might have been an SMT with ES, so... Evan, can you not rewind? I don't know. Can we rewind on FX replay? Okay, so that was a fail. The first trade was a fail. So right now it is 9:03. So let's move on to the New York session. Ooh. So that actually looked really good right here. Not all of the LRLR got swept, but the equal highs did. So this would have been a good trade, in my opinion, right there. Stop to break even at that low, but again, we missed it. So wouldn't be surprised if this goes all the way down to the lows now. Okay, so this was market open. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so all the LRLR got swept. This, to me, looks pretty good to the downside. But I will be honest, we do have equal highs right above, so this is very tough to take. But let's see what we get here. I am going to label this high 2 on the 4-hour because that's also really important. But we still do have that 930, that data low and the 930 low. So these could still be pretty good targets here, but let's see what we get. Okay, so that looks pretty decent. I'm not going to lie. What do you guys think? Is this a good setup or not? Give it a rating out of 10. So we've swept high of day by a tick. Or we swept this internal high by a tick, and now we have a pretty nice looking inverse. I think this looks pretty good, personally. Even though we have buy side above and we have equal highs, I think at minimum, so what I would do here is probably move my stop to break even at this low, which is at 7,625.50. Oh, hold on, guys. I was on the 30-second. We need to see. I want to see the 1 minute close below personally here. I would chance it. So the 30-second looks great, but the 1 minute never closed below. So I would honestly wait for the 1 minute here. So let's see what plays out. Damn. So there was no stop to break even here, so I can't take this trade because, and why would I not enter here? Let's see, who knows. Even though we have an obvious 930 low and a data low, why would I not enter this short right now? The 30-second close below, which I like. Uh-oh, why is it lagging? 30-second close below, which I like. The 1 minute close below. But why is this not a good short now? In my view. It hit the stop to break even before the candle closed. Correct. And why? But why is that? Why is that a bad thing? Like, why is this my stop to break even? Okay, it hit the low, but why is this important? Why is this low important? What's below it? Liquidity, there's buying below it. There's a fair value gap, guys. You see that bullish fair value gap? So if we're bullish today, right, and the draw on liquidity is these equal highs above and the buy side, then we're going to bounce out of this and we're going to go higher. So there's no need for me to take this short right now. Until this closes below. If this closes below, then I'll take this short. But then the risk is a little bit higher, right? We'd have to keep our stop above both of these and target the low and then the data lows. So let's see what plays out here. Oh, okay, does this, okay, I'm not sure, but I think this is considered a close below. See, this is why I don't like FX Replay that much, because I don't know for a fact that this is a close below, but let's try this. I'll do it again with a half position, just in case I'm wrong. And the auto break even on this is going to be at the internal low right here, which is at 7,603.50. Okay, so let's see if this ends up working, guys. I'm going to keep my stop a little bit higher just in case we wick. Okay, there's this automatic stop to break even, so this is now a free trade. And we're basically hoping now that we're going to completely sweep the internal low here, which is the 930 low, and then ultimately the data low. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to move my take profit down here, and I'm going to partial. So I'm going to take half the position off at the 930 low, and I'm going to take the rest off if we get it. So let's see if the market rewards us or not. All right, stop to break even. So that was a free trade. Again, super important that you move your stops quickly, because if we're bullish today, guys, this is going to completely get smoked and go all the way up here. So okay, that looks really bearish too. I do like that we swept liquidity to the upside here, but we do still have bullish fair value gaps. This one did close below. I am inclined to believe that this is going to go lower here, but I don't think this is A+ anymore, because we already have the IFEG form and we closed above. So I personally am not going to re-enter this, but I think this will probably end up going down here. So let's see what happens. Oh. Ooh, okay. What do we think about this, guys? So we've already swept some downside liquidity. We do have a really good stop to break even here, and we have targets above. So what do you guys think? By the way, the time is 10 o'clock, so I really wouldn't trade past 11. That's what I normally do, guys, is after 11 o'clock, I don't normally take trades unless it's really good. Do you guys like this setup? Let me just add something real quick here. Evan says it looks good. Okay, I do. How do I add ES here? Can I add ES? Symbol. Why is it only showing me NQ? ES1. Exclamation mark. So confused. Does anyone know how to add another ticker? You have to add it to your session. Ugh, whatever. Or strategy. Alright, whatever. I'll just delete it then. What I would like to see is if there's an SMT with ES. But no, I'm not going to take this, guys, and the reason being is because this IFEG already failed to the downside. And we still haven't swept any liquidity to the downside. So if this works, great. But I personally would not want to be part of this. So let's see what happens. So we swept the high. Immediate stop to break even. See that? So I'm glad I wasn't part of that. Okay, to me now, I mean, we swept more liquidity to the upside. We have an IFEG here. This is a very crazy session. Is this an A+ setup, guys, do you think? There's LRLR to the downside, IFEG, liquidity sweep. I think this is worth a shot. Even though it's a small fair value gap, we've swept liquidity 1, 2, 3 times, and we have a pretty good target below. So I'm going to risk this again, half size. And yeah, we'll just see what happens. My stop to break even will be at 7,611.50. And then this is probably going to be the last trade I take of this session because I'm really not liking the PA. Half size. All right, let's see what happens. Fully expecting to get stopped out on this, but I think it is still decent. All right, so there's the stop to break even. And I'm not going to partial here. I'm going to partial here, and I'm going to take my full TP at the data lows. So let's see if we get it. Whoops, Command Z. Take profit. I'm going to put down here, and I'm going to partial at these lows if we get them. Okay, if you guys want a partial, you know what I'll do? I'm going to take... I'm going to take 25% off here at the lows, right? That's a liquidity sweep. I'll take another 25% off here, and I'll take the remainder off at the lows here. Okay. Beautiful. So let's partial again. And full TP is going to be down at the lows. Let's see if we get him. And bang, let's go. Let's go. So this is a beautiful trade right here again. This is where I guess screen time comes into play. Even though that was a really small fair value gap, because we swept liquidity, so we swept this high here. Fake down move, stopped everybody out, swept the high again, and then an inverse. This kind of, like, this setup to me is just really good in the views of liquidity. So even though the fair value gap wasn't that amazing, it wasn't that big, I was still willing to risk it because I've seen this setup play out quite a few times. I know the data low is likely to get swept. And now, potentially, we could even look for a setup to the highs. But it's already 11 o'clock, so unless it's really, really good, I'm not going to be taking anything else for this session, but we'll see what we get. Pretty big rejection there right before the highs, too, so I'm not quite convinced that we're going to have a reversal on the day. So what I would probably do here, again, I already have my win on the day, so I probably wouldn't take anything. But if you want, guys, like if you see this towards the 11 o'clock time, again, this is when I pretty much am done trading for the day normally. But it still doesn't look half bad. Let me look at the other time frames. 3 minute doesn't look great. 1 minute. Let me put the 2 minute on the chart too. Oh, it doesn't give you the option for the 2? Huh, interesting. So I normally have the 2 minute chart as well, which is nice, but I guess we'll just let this play out. Yeah, you see that? So it closed above and then it failed. So if this was something first of all, if I had no trades on the day, I'd probably take this small size, but it's already 11 o'clock, so I'm pretty much done. So let's go to the next session, guys. Oh my goodness. What was this? What was was this just London Asia pump? So this was the fair value gap we were looking at towards 11 o'clock, right? That failed. And then what was this news? I don't know what the news was here, but this looked pretty good to me. So we swept liquidity to the downside. And then if we move on to the 3 minute chart, what the hell just happened? Pretty nice looking 3 minute there. Kind of small, but I still like that. And you can see that it just ripped. And then, what was this? It was this 1800 news. Wow. Okay, so all the equal highs got swept. And yeah, so now we're at 8:30. No news. What's the date? It's a Monday. So this is a no news Monday. Probably not something I would be trading with real size or anything at all, realistically. Also, we're trading in this hourly fair value gap, which is actually holding, interestingly enough. This looks like the potential start of a sell program to target this low and this low, potentially this low. Let me see if there's any equal highs I'm missing here. No. Ooh, so there are perfect equal highs right here. Let me see, are they? Did they miss by a tick? No, those are perfectly equal. But to me, what is this news, bro? Or just random pumps in the middle of the night. This was also, guys, this was at 2020, so don't be surprised if you see like crazy PA. But I'm just going to play the market forward. What do you guys think? Is that a good IFEG to take to the upside? So actually, this is a pretty important one. Let's see what you guys think. So look at the hourly chart. Look at the bullish reaction we've had here. Do you think this is a good IFEG to take to the upside at 8:30? There was a liquidity sweep. And this is the IFEG right here. There's a volume imbalance right above it, so I want to put both of them in. It's not just the so here's another lesson, guys. Real quick. So this is the fair value gap, and we closed above it, right? But is this a smart fair value gap to trade? Like, is this the only thing you should include here? Or is there something else that we're missing in the chart that we should also include? Like, is this where I should be drawing my inverse fair value gap? I'm not going to go on until somebody puts their neck on the line. IDK, I'm stumped. I'm not guessing this time. All right. So I would say no, and the reason being, if you look right here, there is a tiny. This is what's called a volume imbalance. A volume imbalance is also similar to a fair value gap, but it's just an imbalance in price. So when we're in a sell model, like you guys see here, we keep making lower highs and lower lows. And for example, when we have these like obvious draws on liquidity to the downside, I do not like taking this IFEG because what could be happening here is the algorithm could be coming up to rebalance this little volume imbalance and then just reject and go lower. Is it always the case? No, but I'm not willing to risk my capital on something like that. Especially today is a Monday. It's a no news Monday from what I'm seeing here. What's the date today? The 6th. We have FOMC on Wednesday, so this is definitely not something I would personally take. You have to be super careful because liquidity could be generated here. I would be more inclined to take a short, but again, there's no setup, so I wouldn't take it. So let's just see what happens here. Oh, so we closed above the volume imbalance. In theory, we should go up to these equal highs, but again, it's a no news Monday, and we have FOMC this week at 2 o'clock, so I am a lot more cautious about entering on up close candles like this because we could be creating liquidity for later in the week. So I would not take this, and let's see what happens. Just moving forward. Uh-oh. So there we go. We hit this high by a tick, and then we rejected. So this actually looked like a pretty good 1 minute short, not gonna lie, but no close below. Or maybe it did. Let me see. There was a close below, but there was also a volume imbalance. I don't know. This is very tough to take. So glad that I did not enter that long. But yeah, so let's move on to... Oh, that was market open. Yeah, I think all that liquidity is going to get swept now. Whoa. That's a pretty good IFEG. So what I would probably do in this case, guys, if this was happening in real time, I would take this on eval. I would not take this on a funded or a cash just because it's FOMC week and it's a no news Monday. What builds liquidity all the sideways trading areas? What builds liquidity all the sideways trading areas? I don't know what that means. Sorry, bro. So let's try this with a very small position to target the equal highs. Okay, and I would do this on eval again, guys. This is not something I would take on. You know what? I don't even like this. Terry, I'm new, learning terminology. What I would suggest, Terry, if you're new, this is probably not the right video for you to watch. Go to my YouTube and go to my playlist. I have one playlist I've made so far, and it's all about trading futures, what liquidity is, what an inverse fair value gap is. Go to that, watch those 4 videos, and then we can talk, because this is not the right video for me to start explaining stuff. But yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to try it this, guys, personally. Just because it's a no news Monday, and we have FOMC. And let's see if it ends up failing. I suspect it will. And actually, what I will do, how about this? If we get a big red candle that completely engulfs this green candle, I'll take a short, and I'll target this low right here. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to target this low. Whoops. But let's see how this candle plays out. Okay, so, ooh. All right, so it ended up working. Surprising. But yeah, that inverse ended up working. Again, just because it was a no news Monday, I didn't want to take it, and I was willing to take a trade if we engulfed this green candle, but it ended up working. So, did this create perfect equal lows here? Damn, I can't even see. Okay, it looks like these are perfect equal lows. Yeah, they are. So let's see if we can actually get a setup to target these. I'm going to label them in red. What I want to see here is either a really nice IFEG up here, and I'll move my stop to break even when this fair value gap hits, or if we fully close all these up close candles, we'll target the equal lows. And let me just check the time. It's 9:50. Okay. Yeah, so I'm looking for a sweep of liquidity here and then potentially an IFEG to the downside. Nothing yet. Let me check the 30-second. Okay, so we did sweep a lot of buy-side liquidity here, but we haven't hit this high yet. What do we think, guys? Is this a good 30-second setup right here? Wow, that's so small. But actually, it's actually bigger. It's this too. What do we think, guys? Is this a good 30-second setup? Because I'm including 2 fair value gaps, right? The first inverse is right here. Second inverse is right here. Do we think this is a good short setup? Stop to break even at this low right here. And I'll target the equal lows below. Evan says yes. I think this is worth a shot. And then again, guys, my stop to break even on this trade will be right here. Whoops. Why is my stop to break even right there? Again, guys, it's going to sound repetitive, but my model's repetitive. It's the same thing happening over and over and over and over again. This model basically allows me to move my stop to break even very quickly, and it keeps my stop loss very quick. Right? I know if we start trading up here, I'm completely wrong. So the reason my stop is to break even here is because if we are bullish on the day and our ultimate draw is higher, which is possible, don't get me wrong, I would expect this liquidity to drive us much higher. So that's why immediately I move my stop to break even. And if I am correct, we're just going to completely collapse. So this should be a free trade. If not, it's a very small loss. My stop loss on this will be a 30-second close back above this inverse fair value, these two inverse fair value gaps. All right, so how do I place the order here? Let's do a 1%. And I'm going to partial right here. If we end up getting this low, I'm going to partial in this bullish fair value gap right here. Why? Because if we sweep this liquidity and then trade into here and we're bullish, we're just going to go higher. So let's see what plays out. Uh-oh. Okay, that looks really good. I really like this. Oh shoot. Sorry guys. I didn't move my I didn't cut the trade. This is the cut right here. It was a 30-second close back above. I was too focused. Right there is the close. Sorry. So that was a fail. So what time is it? 10:20. I'm going to move on to the next session. Go to London session. Oh, whoops. Gotta go. Will you be on YouTube tomorrow? Charlie, tomorrow is a Discord stream. Wow, look at this. Whoa, look at this bullish reaction. So we never closed above the hourly here. We rejected it. And then this close here signaled to me that we were going to go higher. So unfortunately, I can't see these in live time, right? We skipped the session, but that was actually a bullish sign right there. And it is now Tuesday. Wow. Okay. So there's no situation here. Why is it bringing me to 8 o'clock? I wanted 8:30. Okay, let's move on to the New York session. Okay, so let me bring this to the 4-hour chart. Wow, super bullish reaction there. So we have an internal high right here. Okay, let's move on to the 1 minute. There was 8:30 news. What was the 8:30 news? Guys, I am really bad with this FX replay. There was 8:30 news, but I didn't see it. So there is a data low here. So I'm going to label this data low. How do I put text? Data low. Okay. So let's see if we can get some kind of an A+ setup down to the data low. But for now, I mean, this is very bullish, right? We've swept quite a bit of liquidity, but we do still have an internal high above us. So let's let the market play out and see what happens here. Rejection from this 1 minute. No A+ setup to the downside. Ooh. No, nothing that I like here. No bullish. I mean, there is a tiny fair value gap here, but not good enough for me to take. We are rejecting from here. Interest rates lowered. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because it's April, so in March of 2020 was the COVID lows. This might even be the COVID lows. So, I mean, definitely bullish setups will probably work more likely here, but let's see what happens. Nothing here that's A+ that I would take, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the data lows here. Even on the 1 minute, there's nothing that I would take. All right, boom, there it is. Okay, let me see if there's any equal highs that got created here. No. Wow, look at this, guys. We swept the highs by a tick, and then we rejected. Was there a 30-second setup there? Not even a 30-second. Nothing I would take here. Ooh. So we did just sweep a bunch of lows. Any equal lows here? No. Okay, what do we think, guys? Is this a good IFEG to the upside? What do we think, guys? Is this a good inverse for value gap to the upside? To target this high? Let's say we close above it right now. We did sweep some lows, right? So is this a good IFEG? Evan, IDK. Okay, I'm going to say no. And the reason being is because we have an hourly fair value gap below us that I think is probably going to be rebalanced. So what I would more so anticipate is a trade into this to go lower. Okay, so did we close above here? No. Okay, there's a close above. What do you guys think? Are you taking this? I am not. Uh-oh. Okay, so to me, this actually looks like a pretty decent short. Let me look at the 3. Okay, if this 3-minute closes below, I'm going to try a quick scalp down to there, if it gives it to me. All right, I'm going to try this really quick. Small size. And I'm not actually going to take profits here. I'm going to take profits somewhere down here. So my stop is actually going to be quite high on this. I'm going to target the mean threshold of this fair value gap. So this is going to be my TP. The R is not that great. But nonetheless, I think it's good. So let's do this half size. And this, ooh, well, we already swept that low. Nah, I'm going to skip out on this. Never mind. Even though I think it's going to work, because we swept this internal low, I'm not going to take this yet. I'm just going to let it play out. All right, so it worked, but it is what it is. And now it's 10 o'clock. I think we're going to go lower here. The mean threshold already actually didn't hit just yet, but it probably will. All right, boom. So lots of rejection there, and it keeps going lower. So let's go on to the next session. Okay. Any 8:30 news? What was this dump? 2 a.m. dump. Okay, so I'm going to label this high and see if we get some kind of a reversal setup. Let me see the 4-hour. Did we miss these perfect equal lows here? It's not the London session, Evan. Remember what I said? I'm waiting for 8:30 news. So sometimes there'll be 8:30 news. And then if there is, I'll take a data candle setup. But for now, there's no 8:30 news. So it's not actually the London session. But I just have it labeled as a London session because that's all that it offers. Okay, I think we're just going to skip to market open. Let's just let it go. Was that market open? No. These are perfect equal lows, right? Or am I tweaking? Yeah, there's perfect equal lows here that we missed. And the data low that formed at it. No, that wasn't 8:30. Okay, so if this 1 minute closes below, it is a little bit early in the session. Oh, but that looks pretty good to the downside. Oh, that's a 1 minute. It's a 3 minute. Oof. Okay, this looks really good. I'm going to try this short. And my stop to break even is going to be at this low right here. And I'm going to target... Let's target the 50% of this leg. Ugh, the R is not great. So I'm going to take this 3 minute. Stop loss is going to be a close back above the 3 minute fair value gap. So let's place the order. I'm going to do this half size. Stop to break even is at 80, 80.5 price. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, it was an automatic stop to break even. And let's see if it ends up hurting me or helping me. All right, so it ended up hurting me. Well, not hurting me, but it was a stop to break even. It still worked, but again, the objective of the model is to have a free trade, right? So, okay, 1 second. Okay, what time is it? 9:50. So I think this is probably going to end up dumping further, but there's nothing else that I would take. Yeah, look at that. All right, let's move on to the next session. Okay, so 8:30, there is a data candle here. Where are we trading in price? Okay. So immediately I'm going to label the data wick low and the data wick high. Let me just play this forward one. Whoa, big push there. Okay, so once the high gets swept, I'm going to look for a setup to target the lows. Ooh, okay, that looked pretty good to the upside. But the R is not great, so I'm not going to take this, but I'm guessing the high is going to get swept, and then maybe we can get a low setup afterwards. Okay, so there's the high. If you guys look at the 4 hour, it looks like we're going to close above this and form an inverse, but we'll see what we get here. Wow, big pump there. Sheesh. Okay, so this looks like the... What day is this? It's a Thursday. So it's... I think this is maybe an NFP Thursday. Is there NFP Friday? Yeah, this is an NFP week. So this is probably going to be a trend day, realistically. And this high is probably going to come. And the high of day. Unless there's an A plus inverse here, there's nothing that I could really take. But we'll see what we get. Okay, so there's the high. And we probably will go higher here. But unless there's an A plus setup, there's nothing I'm taking, right? Okay, what do we think, guys? Is this a good setup to take? I don't know who's still watching this. Not with the data highs so close. Which data highs? What's up, Robert? This is so Robert, this is a backtesting session. I promised the group that I was going to do a backtesting session. No, we just swept an internal high on the 4-hour chart. So this is a very obvious liquidity. I think this is a good trade. Unfortunately, we did sweep this low already. But nonetheless, I do think it's decent. And I would probably target 50% of this leg for my first TP. And then I would hold the rest down to the data lows. So I'm actually going to take this. I'm going to do a 1% risk. Stop to break even will come at this low right here. So at 8,238.75. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Now, it is a trend week, so you have to be careful, but my stop is going to be at 1 minute close back above, so I think this is a good RR trade. Okay, so stop to break even right there. If you want, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to partial right there. And I'm going to move my stop. Nah, I'll just leave it. And we'll just see what happens. All right, so I got a partial in, and that was it. And you can actually see this ends up going higher, so... yeah, good, Robert. So yeah, so that was a very small partial. And again, why did I move my stop to break even here? Because if we are bullish, it's a trend day on a Thursday, we are likely to continue higher. So see how I literally know exactly where we're likely to reverse if we're going to reverse. This comes with screen time. This comes with backtesting. And let's see what happens after that. Yeah, so very bullish. This actually looks pretty decent. But we do have another tiny 1 minute right below it. I'm going to skip out on it, but this could work to the downside. Bam. Look at that. And it ends up going all the way down to the data lows. Crazy. Ooh, that looks really nice. There might be an SMT here with ES. But I can't open ES on my chart. So this is the sucky part, is that I don't know what's going on with ES right now. I have to do like a whole new session. But if there was an SMT here, I think that's a really good inverse to the downside. You know what, guys? I'm going to try this short. Stop will be a close. I'm going to leave it at the highs, and then I'm going to target the data lows here. So let's place this order. 1%. Actually, let's do 0.5%. Just because I didn't get the entry. And then auto break even will be at this internal low at 8,201.25. Is that the correct number? 1.25. All right, let's see what happens here. Okay, my stop was moved to break even. And I got stopped out for a free trade. So technically, this trade did still work, right? We never closed back above the IFEG. But again, I'm protecting my capital. And you can see now that we are closing below it. This is very likely going to drive us all the way down to the data lows. Yeah, this looks so good. But yeah, we can't take this anymore, but you can see it's probably going to go. Oh, very difficult. What time is it now? 11:46. Okay, I know it's a little bit late in the day, but this still looks decent to me. If this inverses to the downside, I still think this is going to be a good short. Because now we swept liquidity to the upside, and we have a very obvious draw on liquidity here. So let's see what happens. Okay, now it's getting really late in the day, so probably wouldn't take this anymore, but... yeah. Not going to take that anymore, even though that looks pretty good, but still. Yeah, guys, it's getting late in the day, so I'm going to move on to the next session. Let's see what happens. Still no trade to the data low, so I'm going to keep these marked on my charts, because one of these days we're going to get a setup to this. Is there 8:30 news? Retail sales control group. Whoo! What was that? Look at that candle. That's crazy. Jeez. Alright, this looks super bearish. I think this is going to drive us all the way down. Not really a setup, guys, but this is going to go all the way down to the data lows. And boom. So again, just market experience. And it's now... wait, what the hell? What is going on? I definitely went to the next London session. I don't know what that was. Yeah, this is why I don't like FX replay, to be honest. Okay. So we finally got the data lows. What was that? Oh, that was the 50% of that leg of price. Yeah, I mean, I like FX replay, but it's very tough when it does that to you, where you go to the session and it ends up being at 1800. Like, I would never have taken a trade there if I knew. I didn't take a trade, but... okay, let me look at the daily quick. Okay, so there's a huge gap on the daily that's probably going to fill at some point. We did tick into it right here, but this is a massive volume imbalance. It could be a draw on liquidity. Now, this is a tough call. What could easily happen here is we trade back down into this daily fair value gap, and then maybe we get an A+ setup from there. But so far, I don't know. This doesn't look great to me. We did just hit this high. What is today? This is a Monday the 20th. Why is it not showing me the news for the 20th? Yeah, I'm not liking this spot that we're in right now. We're kind of in the middle of this range. We haven't swept buy side yet. And we do have potential areas we can rebalance below, but this is not a spot like in the middle of this range that I want to be trading. It looks more likely that we're going to trade to the downside because we hit this high on the daily and we rejected. But I'm looking at the 4 hour. I don't see any fair value gaps. This is a very weird candle. Nothing that I want to be part of here. We do have this hourly fair value gap that we are rejecting from right now. You see how we rejected literally from the high. But this is not something I want to be part of personally. But let's see how the day plays out until like 9:30, and then we can maybe see if we get a setup after that. $9.17. Yeah, nothing I'd want to be part of here. And these candles look very off. And I don't know if it's a no news Monday. I don't know what's going on here. So I would never trade this realistically. Okay, right at market open, we swept the... oh, that's not even high. Yeah, this is like, realistically, guys, I would never be part of this. This is very confusing, PA. This weird thing that we got. This was, I think, the market open on Sunday. There was probably some bearish news. Yeah, I would not be part of this. Wow, big pump there. Wow. Okay. This is super bearish, guys. I love this setup to the downside. As far as draws on liquidity, we do have triple equal lows right here. I'm going to try this, guys. So I'm going to do the full size short here. Whoops. Okay, this looks super bearish. And my target, honestly, is going to be quite a bit lower. I think we'll probably end up hitting this low right here on the hourly. So I'm going to actually target all the way down here on this trade. Because the stop is huge, I'm actually going to go half size, but I still think this is pretty good. So let's go half size. Stop to break even will be at these internal lows at 8,177.50. So why do I like this setup? We have pretty much rebalanced this hourly for value gap. And we swept this internal high. So there's an hourly high. And we're rejecting it really strongly. So to me, this looks like a very, very bearish V-shaped move. And we have a very obvious stop to break even. And they're triple equal lows. So I'm going to enter this short. And how do I auto break even? Wait, I thought I auto breaked even already. Price. Yeah. Oh, it's already set. Okay. Let's see what happens. All right, bang. So I'm going to take a partial here. Very nice. And then I'm holding my runners all the way down to this internal low. And yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, we got stopped out. Damn, we got stopped out on the trade. That's so annoying. All right, well, it ended up saving us, so. And at 11 o'clock, it's probably going to drive us lower here. Yeah, look at that. Crazy. Okay, welcome, sir. Yeah, you missed some pretty decent trades, but... Alright, so let's go to the next session. Alright, so we're going to the London session here. Let's go to the daily chart, see where we are. Wow, all those highs got swept. So there is a volume imbalance here. And you can see that we're pretty much at the highs of the volume imbalance. Have we touched it yet? No, not quite. Let me make sure the time is good. It's 8:30. There's no news right now. Is it the 15th? It's the 14th. So we have 8:30 retail sales on the 15th. But we do have equal highs above. We have a lot of stuff here. But basically, I'm going to see how we react at the top of this hourly. I mean, at the top of this volume imbalance, and we'll go from there. But there's no news at 8:30. So actually, let's skip to the New York session. Okay, so the New York session drove us up to the volume imbalance high. Let me see if there's any equal lows we can target. TradingView is going to step up their game when they finally introduce tick-based, dollar-based, and point-based replay data to treat backtesting more like actual markets. Yeah, I don't know when they're going to do that. How long have we been streaming for? 1 hour and 9 minutes. Are these perfect equal lows? Nope. Okay, so let's see how 9:30 open behaves. Wow. Nothing I like on the 5, nothing I like on the 15, nothing I like on the 3. So far, nothing I like here. Ooh, That was a pretty decent 1 minute inverse, but we never closed above. Look at the 4-hour chart quick, see if there's any. Oh, so there is a pretty nice looking buy side here. But if we get close to it and miss it by a tick or so, maybe we'll look for a short setup. But this, like when this happens right at market open, most of the time this type of bullish candle drives us much higher. And like I said, on the 4-hour we have an internal high. We also have an hourly high right here that we could target. But I'm not going to long this personally. This is something I'd have to watch. But yeah, this 1 minute was decent. We did sweep liquidity, and we did trade into this bullish 1 minute gap. But this is probably going to go up here, but nothing that I would enter personally. Because we're at the high of a volume imbalance, I'd be very careful here. Okay, there's that high. And the second high. Okay, so that was a pretty good 1 minute. Now that this has this has hit the buy side, we could potentially look for a reversal here. But yeah, let's see what we get. Ooh, that looks really nice. So we did sweep all of these, did we? Oh, we came close. What do you guys think? Is this a good short? Wait, did this not... Why is it not going to the right spot? Okay, so we missed this high by a tick. Do you guys think this is a good short to take? What do we think? Okay, Evan. Kay says, let's see one more candle. Evan, what do you think? No, I mean, there's no setup yet, but if it inverses, do you guys think it's good? Evan says yes. Kay says, let's see one more candle. I think it's eh. But what I will say is that, what was this? This is a 930 low. So I think this is a very good spot to potentially look for. I'm going to see what the next candle does. Okay, I'm going to try this. It's a very good RR trade, and we missed the buy side liquidity by just a tick. So I think this is pretty good. And I will take a partial at the mean threshold if we get it, which is right there. Let me just look at the 5 minute quick. Yeah, so I'll probably partial here at this low. And yeah, we'll just hope and see what happens here. Just really good RR. That's pretty much the reason. We could easily come up and hit this high, but this is something I'd be willing to take, especially if it was a good news day. Again, guys, it's hard for me to go in not knowing what else is happening for the rest of the week. It's not always clear what they show here on the news, but let's do a 0.7%. And my auto break even, I'm going to put my auto break even at this low. No, I'll put it at this low right here, which is at 8554.75. So again, I'm fully expecting a potential stop at break even here, or a stop out, but the RR is just too good to ignore, and we have a 930 low, so. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. No! Okay, so anyways, the 1 minute did stop us out there anyways, so let's see how the rest of this plays out. All right, so it took the highs out. Okay, so that was a $70 loss, I think. And now we're in this hourly bearish gap. So let's see what happens here. Still think there's a potential here for a good short on the day. It's 10:17, so it's coming close to the end of my trading time. But this 3 minute looks pretty decent. Okay, what do we think about this, guys? Kay says it looks good to him. Evan? Yep, I agree. I think this looks great. Did that close below? Okay, that's a close below. So I'm going to take this. And for this day, this will definitely be the last trade of the day. Keep it at 0.7. And my stop to break even on this trade will be at 8568. Wait. 8570. Okay, I'm going to move my stop just a little bit higher in case the 3-minute wicks. And let's go ahead and see what happens. Beautiful. So guys, if you're risk averse here, I would actually move my stop once this low gets hit, but I think it's going to go much lower. Ooh. Okay, it wicked. So no close above. This is where I'm going to move my stop to break even now, or my stop loss. Beautiful. Okay. Now this is where FX replay is kind of meh, because I would definitely move my stop to break even to that low right there, this candle. So I'm immediately moving my stop to break even here, and now we're just going to let it run. No! No! Oh my goodness. That would have been crazy. Damn. Look at that. And now it's just going to be a sell model most likely. Oh, they made it tough. Alright, well, it is what it is. So that could have been a nice trade. It wouldn't even have given us a partial. The 50% was down here. So, yeah, it was a break-even stop. But it's fine. That is what it is. And it's now 12 o'clock, so I would definitely go to the next session. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So, very bullish reaction above that hourly fair value gap. Or the 4-hour fair value gap. Let's look at the daily quick, see if there's anything we're missing. No sweep of this high, which is interesting. Gotta get rid of this. Get rid of all this. We came back to the 50%. Where was my 3-minute inverse? Yeah, we did. So this is 8:30, so I'm not really as fond of taking a trade here. But this isn't half bad. Let me see if there's any equal highs. No. Okay, there are perfect equal highs right here. So let me label these on the chart quick. And anything else that we're missing? So again, guys, perfect equal highs right here, but I'm not as inclined to take this as other trades because they're super, super close to each other. They're right next to each other. All right. So what do we think about this inverse, guys? We did tap into the 50%, like Kay just mentioned. And where did that come from? It was the 50% of this leg of price, right? So we swept liquidity to the downside and tapped into the 50%. Kay says he would take that. Evan, what do you think? I take. All right, let's try it. I think it's a good trade. It is 8:30. Not ideal. Let me just check one more thing. Let's look at the 4-hour. We also entered the bullish 4-hour fair value gap, so I think this is pretty good. I would take this. And then I would move my stop a little bit lower, and then I would target high of day realistically. Yeah. So Mm, I don't like that we rejected right there. We're also in premium of this range, which I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of that. Yeah, guys, I'm going to skip out on this. But let's see if it plays out for you guys. If it even does close above. Okay, so we're coming close to market open here. Okay, so there is the 1 minute inverse to the upside. I'm not going to take this personally. Yes, we did move to 50% of that previous leg, but we're in premium of this range. Not a huge fan of this. So I'm not going to take this personally. Uh-oh. Look at that. So big collapse there. It looks like more realistically what's going to happen now is we're going to come down and trade to the 50%. But there is no inverse to go short, so... Ooh. Oh, we're on the 3 minute. Yeah, nothing that I like here. I mean, this looks pretty decent. If this closes below, I'm going to try a short. We have some LRLR to the downside, and we have our obvious draw on liquidity, which is that 50% level. Just let me check the time quick. 10 o'clock. Okay, I'm willing to try this. If we get this closed below, I'm willing to try this short. Stop to break even at the low of day. This is a tough one. I would need to see if there's an SMT with ES here. So we're delivering from a bullish fair value gap, and we do have an inverse to the upside here. 1022. What do you guys think? Is this a good inverse to take? You guys wanted to take the 1 minute here and it failed. So do you think this is good? Kay says no, not good PA for me. I would not take this personally. And it did end up working to the upside. Okay, so we swept liquidity to the upside here. If this ends up closing below, I think this is a good short. We have a lot of LRLR here. In fact, this is kind of small, but I still think this is going to work. Okay, I'm going to try this short, guys, right now. Stop loss will be a close back above this 1 minute candle. I'm going to take a partial at low of day, and I'm going to hold this quite a bit lower. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to take it 50%. Auto break even at... let's do 8503.75. 8503.75. Wow. Okay, guys. I think we're going to take 1 or 2 more trades. This has been a pretty long session. All right. So let's see what happens here. Oh, no. All right. That was a stop out. Realistically, that should have been the stop out right there, but I probably would have just held this. So, yeah, bad PA. Maybe the draw is up to this hourly. I don't know. I thought the IFG was not big enough. It wasn't that big, but because of this rejection here, I thought it was going to be good. But okay, time is 10:48. Let's move on to the next session. Wow. Okay, so we do have a data high and a data low. Okay. Oh, are there equal highs here too that got swept? Oh, wow. When did this happen? What time was this? 2 a.m. Crazy. Okay, so I'm thinking that realistically now the daily highs are probably going to come here. Ugh. Bro. Okay, so we do have this daily high right here. Yeah, it looks like this is probably going to come here. So let's see if we can get some kind of a 1 minute or a 30-second setup. Maybe we can get a short setup first to target the lows and then go up. Let's see. Ooh, this looks pretty nice. How do you know when to mark the data highs and lows? It's just the first candle that forms at 8:30. If it's a big candle, you mark the high and you mark the low. So what do you guys think about this 30-second setup? Oh, bounced out of it. All right, what do you guys think about this? Yes, okay, very good. Hopefully we were both right here, but this is too good of a risk reward not to try. Stop to break even. I would most likely do it this internal low, so 8673.75. So let's place the order. I'll do a 1%. And then we're auto break evening at, like I said, 867. Let's do 867275. So if this gets stopped, it's fine, but I think this is a great risk to reward. So let's see what happens. Okay. Beautiful stop to break even. Realistically, guys, in this situation, I would probably move my stop back above this 1 minute inverse. But yeah, what's probably going to happen is I'm going to get tagged out and then it's going to go down. But realistically, in a real life situation here, I would move my stop above this 1 minute fair value gap. But let's see what happens here. Okay. So I would partial right here at this low. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll take 50% of the position off. And then let's hold the rest. Bang. Okay, I would take another 25% off here probably. And then let's see what happens next. Oh, so close to getting stopped. All right, there's a stop out on the rest for break even. And now let's see what happens. Crazy. So this is not market open just yet. There was a pretty good looking inverse here, but I'm not going to take anything at market open here. Whew. So no IFEGs in here. Now, technically, this is an inverse to the downside, but again, we're so low here that I'm not going to take this. Yeah, so again, guys, with this type of a day, because we're bullish and we have a very obvious internal high above us on the daily, I would take partials, and that's why I took off 75%. But now we are very likely to go to this low. In fact, that is a close below, but there was a liquidity sweep, and we still have the remainder of this 1 minute fair value gap, so I would not enter this personally short, but it's probably going to work. Ooh, very tough. Ooh, that looked pretty nice. But again, I'm not really interested in being part of this anymore. And there's the data low. Okay, so at least that was a winning trade. Let's go on to... Let's go on to the next session. Okay, guys, this is going to be the last session because I've been going for an hour and a half now. Let's see here. Go to London session. Wow, look at that pump. Oh my goodness, and we ended up hitting the equal highs. Okay, so we are at, why is it, see, this is what I don't understand. I went to the London session, but for me, the London session is 8:30 a.m. and it takes me to 5 o'clock. Why is that? And then it glitches. Like, what is that all about? I need to get used to it. Okay, so this looks like accumulation, potentially a manipulation to distribute higher. So we did sweep this liquidity on the 5-minute chart. This 5-minute fair value gap actually looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. We have LRLR. We have a buy side. Oh, the buy side got swept already. What do we think about this 5-minute? I am in UTC4. Kay likes the 5-minute. Evan says he likes it. I would wait. So we do have LRLR here. Do we have any perfect equal highs too? Let me see something. Yeah, this looks pretty good to me. Okay, so let's see what happens. I'm guessing that if this is going to be bullish, they're just going to rip it right like at this 1 minute. But let's see. I do like this 1 minute, but I think what I would do in this situation is wait for the 5. Wow. Look what happens at market open. Looks like it's going to pump and it ends up dumping. Let me check the 4-hour here. Let's check the hourly. Yeah, it doesn't look great, but let's see what happens. Yeah, this is bearish as hell. So we traded into a bullish 15 here. Let me check the 1, 3. So if we were able to close above this, form an OB while trading into a 15, I think this is a pretty good trade with a stop to break even at this high. And then we could also target the 930 dump as well. 30-second entry. I'm not going to do a 30-second here. Okay, so this is actually an entry for a trade. So I'm going to enter long here. But unfortunately, the tough part about this is that my stop to break even has to be right at this high. So it's probably going to be a stop out trade, but let's see if it ends up being a free trade. So let's place the order. Let's do 0.5%. Auto break even at 882.75. Save it. Breaking even value must be less than the take profit. 8822.75. I'm confused. Oh, wait. No. I'm so confused. Why is this happening? Does anybody know? Yeah, but the risk to reward is correct. The stop loss is at 8974. The take profit is at 8871.75. Oh, I'm on risk reward. All right. Okay, so I'm 99% sure I'm going to get stopped at break even here, but let's see what happens. Yeah. Wow. Big dump there. All right, so there's a break even trade. And yeah, let's go on to the next session. Okay. So we're on the hourly here. Let's check the 4. Whoops. Okay, so we still have a bunch of LRLR here. Do we have perfect equal highs anywhere? No. Yeah, guys, it's so hard to backtest and be profitable like this. It's very tough. I'll see what my win rate ends up being with this. But the fact that I don't know exactly what news is happening, I can't like every single time go up and label the equal highs and stuff. So we still have this 930 data high that we missed here. From the daily chart, let me see if there's anything I'm missing here. So on the daily, we are testing that daily OB. So I actually wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of a long setup from within here. Yeah, so I guess we'll just move PA forward and see what happens. Okay, what time is this? 9:30. Flat. See, I would want to see here if there's an SMT with ES. That would be important for me to find out. I'm going to personally skip out on this, guys, but this could easily just rip to here. But I don't know if there's an SMT. It's right at market open. You know what? Let's try it with really small size. How about that? We'll try it with super small size. Do 0.3. Auto break even at 8782.25. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, so my stop is at break even now. And stopped out. You can look at ES also. Yeah, I don't know how. I have to reset the whole session. Yeah, I try to add it with a split chart, but it doesn't let me add it for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm still getting used to it. Maybe if we do another backtesting session later, I can do it with the yeah, with the new session. We'll start fresh. But this has been a very I mean, it's been a very average session. We've stayed at basically 10,340, which sucks, but so we are reacting from this bullish daily order block here. So maybe we get something. I'm trying to see if there's any obvious draws on liquidity here. 9:30. What was the 8:30 candle like? Yeah, I would have to play the market forward here and see what we get. Yeah, it's important to learn for sure. Yeah, nothing that I would take in here. Look at the hourly quick. So there is a bearish hourly fair value gap right here that we are testing right now. If we can close above this hourly, it's very likely to me that this internal high is going to hit and then potentially the highs above. So let's pay attention to this hourly candle. How do I know when this hourly is going to close? Closes at 11 o'clock. Oh, I'm on the 1 minute. Oh, okay, there was a close on the hourly. All right, so the hourly closed. Now I think that this high is going to hit, but we'd have to see some kind of an A+ long, which I don't see yet. Yeah, so there was no setup there. This is 11 o'clock. Realistically, I probably wouldn't take anything after that, but maybe there'll be a short here. So we could probably target these internal lows, realistically, if we get some kind of an inverse here. Ooh, this looks pretty nice. Okay, I'm going short here, guys. I think this will be the last trade. See if we can end on a dub. And I will target... I'll take a partial here. And then I'll full TP at this low. So let's go ahead and place the order. Do one more full-size position. And then the auto break even will be here at 8814. RR is not good. I think the RR is great. $8814.25. So we swept an hourly high. We have a really nice inverse V shape, good stop to break even, and a good take profit. All right, so there's a stop to break even. This is a free trade. Yeah, there's lots of fair value gaps below. I think it's probably going to go all the way, but what we'll do... Hold on one second, guys. So this is what I'm talking about. Buy side liquidity on the high time frame, right on the 4-hour we swept liquidity. Very nice V-shape recovery, or V-shape reversal. Not necessarily a macro time. It actually is the 1050 to 1110 macro. So this is a macro time, but it's not as important. And then, yeah, I mean, if we're going to be bullish, then we'll react bullishly from here, but I would say that we're probably going to go lower. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so I'm going to partial right there, 50%. And then we're going to hold the rest all the way down. Please don't stop me out. No! All right. So at least it ended with a win. Again, how important it is to move your stop to break even quickly, because if you're wrong, you're going to be really wrong. And here's another inverse to the downside, but I'm not entering on the same leg of price. And thank God we didn't. So that is going to be it, guys. At least we ended with profitability. Let's go to the analytics and see how terrible it was. Again, guys, my backtesting percentage of win is much lower than my real life. Because in real life, I know exactly what's happening during the week. I have all my equal highs and equal lows. I have my QQQ chart that I'm always looking at for weekly and monthly levels. But let's see what happens here. 380, 63.16% win rate, 34 trades, 15 break-even trades. 50-50 buy and sell. Win rate. What is this? Does that mean my win? Oh, 35% of it was... I don't know what this means. But it looks like I got a 36% win rate. The first trade I took, the first few were actually losers, and then it ended up being a winner. So, that's good. Not great. But, yeah. What do you guys think? Should we do another backtesting another time? Do you guys feel like you learned some stuff from this? That's good. Look at your RR. Average RR is almost a 1. Max RR was a 3. Okay, so, I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. Performance by day. Tuesday was my biggest losing day. Thursday and Friday were my winning days. Okay. All right, guys. So that was pretty much it for the session. I'll try and do another backtesting session soon. And yeah. Oh, it's already 12:45. All right, guys. So that's the end of it. Appreciate you guys joining the backtesting session. For UK, if you want to go back, you can obviously watch this. You can replay this if you guys want. But yeah, we'll see you guys. By the way, for the people that are in the Discord, tomorrow is a Discord live stream. All right, peace.